Hello. Our live stream is a little bit wild tonight. There's Steven. We have a new setup. Let me move my phone out of the shot. But we have a new setup, and so we're trying that out tonight for the first time. Our table's not even fully made. Oop. You good? Yeah. There we go. Okay. We're doing it live. Oh, no, you did screw it in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We didn't have the tabletop even like screwed into the table base yesterday.
Yeah. No,
so we're making things work. But yeah, we've got a new table. We've got a new setup. The studio looks completely different than how it did before, but it's a work in progress, and I really like it. I think you've done a good job with it.
It's pretty good.
I don't know how much of a tour we can do given our camera situation, but we can walk you through what changed, what we've done.
We could probably post.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to be like done. We've got some things we need to, some iron or wrinkles we need to iron.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I like it. It feels more spacious back here. Like we have so much room for activities.
Here, I'll change the camera.
There we
Both
are.
of us still here.
You still see my phone though. Yeah. We'll move it off to the side so you can see this is the best way for me to read chat because we changed even our way that we're monitoring things. Our camera looks different. Did you lower it? Or is this the same as it's always been?
Lower, yeah.
Okay. But hello, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's
We might have a little one.
Yeah, we may have a visitor. Bedtime did not go as smoothly as we were hoping it would. There we go. Yeah, so we used to have this huge TV. I mean, this TV's like how old, Steven? Like 15 years old, probably.
I think it was like your TV from college.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really old. And that's what we used to use for like the monitor for monitoring chats when we were doing interviews, all of that stuff. And it would be just past our original table. And now we're trying to use your two monitors from your computer instead. And so it's about the same distance away, but it's a much smaller screen to look at. So it's like,
yeah. I got to put like the zoom, the text, the magnify, whatever.
yeah. Well, considering that we have the cameras even like set up and like enough to go live.
Yeah. That was like I'm plugging and unplugging and trying to route the wires. So
it's fun though. But yes, so we have a new table. I don't know if you can see it too well you can see it. It's a very weird, like a Franken table. So
half of it is like octagon.
Yeah.
Or
this is an octagon. Is it a hexagon shape?
It would probably be octagon shape.
Probably be an octagon shape. And then the other side it's just like a huge desk. So we basically built like just like a little side table off of it. I don't know how you would describe it. But basically this is my old desk base that I was using for my office, my home office. And then I was sitting at my desk so much between like my day job and my travel agent work that I was just like, I cannot sit all day like this. Like it just hurts my back to sit like this. And so I upgraded to a standing desk. And so we took the top off of my normal desk, put it on a standing desk. And so the base was just like sitting in my my office for
a good while,
months. And then, I forget where it was or when we decided, it was a couple weeks ago, we were just like, you know what?
Try rearranging stuff.
Yeah. Because our old table that we were using was our entry table. So we just had like a big empty space in our house for a while. But yeah.
Put it on you.
Oh.
While I mess with the...
Oh, you're still working on things? Yeah, I can keep talking. Well, thank you. Octo Franken table. Yes, we already have a Franken couch up here too. I don't think we've talked about that.
Well, so I think the thing is like when we started doing the podcast and I know I've mentioned it before, like going from streaming to the podcast, like kind of this studio, what we call it now.
Yeah.
Is this room has evolved like a whole bunch. like first it was just like a storage area, and then it became like my office area.
Yep.
And then I had on one wall my small desk, my little computer desk, and then it went to a different wall, which I think was this wall.
Yeah,
so it was
you
on
went
that
from
wall
this side
first,
to this wall.
this wall, and then I did a different setup on this wall where it was like a hanging kind of cleat system.
It was really cool.
And then
you gave that system to you moved our son over, and now he's over there.
And for like a very short while, we had this studio kind of flipped on the opposite corner.
Oh, yeah. Never when we were Princess and Scoundrel, though. It was like when we were testing things out.
And then we built this, and then just keep evolving.
Yeah.
That's all we've been doing, is just keep evolving.
I think this is definitely not like the final form either. But yeah, no, Galen, we did not want to, one, spend a lot of money on this refresh. And then two, like we were using our entry table. And so it was nice to like put that back where it was. It was a good table. Yeah. But being able to use this base, because the base it's a really nice piece of furniture, but you can't break it down any. And so it's not like we could go like put it in the attic because it was just too big. Like you couldn't take the legs off of it because it was like
glued.
Yeah, it was like glued in. It's really well made.
Well, and I think that was we didn't want to like throw it out because it was still good. And if we ever did change, go back to having your standing desk to a regular desk, we could put it back together.
Right.
So
I think this is a good option. But this is the first time you and I have actually sat here at this desk together.
As like a full desk.
Yeah.
So.
Why are you so awkward?
You make it so weird.
I want to see how far apart we are. Oh. It's not quite my arm's length, or it's more than my arm's length. How about yours? You're leaning back now. You're like this. It's like hold my hand.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what to say to that.
You can hold my hand. That's what you can do. We're married. It's okay. It's allowed.
So, yeah, see, now we got to get... This is the other part where getting it situated is if I am going to be controlling the computers, I need to...
This basically is a stream about tables at this point.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. It's exciting news in our house, getting a new table.
But talking about Disney.
Oh.
Let's go back to Disney.
Okay, let's go back to Disney. Yeah. Well, we did get a question. What did you guys think of Thor, Obi-Wan, Jurassic?
We haven't seen Jurassic yet.
We have not seen Jurassic. World Dominion, is that the new one?
No : Jurassic World Dominion.
All just...
That was like a big deal.
Truncated, together. We actually did not see they were the Jurassic World movies, sit down and really watch them until a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed them.
Yeah,
The second one's
I think what everybody has said about it is just kind of progressively got cheesier. But it's fun. They're fun movies.
I enjoyed them. I was looking forward to seeing them, and we were actually going to go. We were thinking about seeing the last one last week.
Yeah.
Our son had seen Lightyear on a field trip, and so he went without us, and we were like, oh, that is it worth going? And he was like, oh, I want to take you guys. And so we were like, oh, we could do that, or we could watch Jurassic World. And he was like, no, let's go watch Lightyear again.
That's funny because he really wanted us to watch Lightyear, and Sarah fell asleep.
I felt so bad. You know what though? No, there's no excuse. Because I came back on a Sunday from my trip.
Yeah.
And then Friday, I think we went to go see it. And so I probably was caught up on my sleep by then, but just put me in a dark room for a couple hours.
You're good.
And there's recliners and heated seats and everything too. It was a nice little nap.
So yeah.
So I missed all the good stuff.
Yeah, the end. It was a cute movie. It had some callbacks to the...
It was cute.
Story, but.
Yeah, because he does the whole Star Command, come in, Star Command.
Yeah.
That whole piece of it was really cute. It had some nice tie-ins. It's just, I don't know. The story itself was just kind of it was okay.
Yeah,
That's what I saw.
Yeah, I think it was just like if we really wanted to nitpick it, I know afterwards you didn't see it, but I was talking about the time travel in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wasn't really understanding how it worked. So
that's not a huge
and
spoiler.
I don't, that's not the spoiler. There's other stuff, but
yeah,
if you go see it and you want to discuss it and talk about time travel, because I kind of get like lost in it. I ought to go talk to Peter because he loves Back to the Future, so we could talk to him.
Oh my God. Yeah, please
talk
talk to
about,
somebody
how
else about
those
time
theories
travel.
work.
Because every time you talk to me about time travel, my eyes just like glaze over. It's like a Vecna's coming to get me.
Oh, talking about that, we
did. We finished Stranger Things.
And that was like
that was funny because, well, speaking of falling asleep, it was that night, right? Because the day we saw Lightyear was also the same day that the Stranger Things Part 2 released. And so I was like, man, I already fell asleep in Lightyear. I don't know how I'm going to stay awake for Stranger Things. But we got the kids down. We watched episode 8, I think. And I like instantly, I had to like stand up and like rock back and forth and like keep moving. I think I made popcorn. I was like, maybe if I just eat the whole time. And I mostly stayed awake. I fell asleep at like the very end of that episode.
I was good.
And then I was like, it's okay. I'll power through the second episode. And then you were like, it's 2.5 hours. I was like, nope. I was like, it's midnight already. I can't do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that.
No spoilers.
I was like, I don't know if I want to get into spoilers yet because it's like what, a week now, a week removed. How much time is it? Like, do you give before? And I don't know because like there's the channels that are like, you know, once it's dropped, they're discussing it.
Yeah.
Right. And so then they're theorizing whatever, and then you know.
But we're not like a Stranger Things channel, so I think it's rude to like.
Go ruin it for.
Yeah,
somebody.
go ruin it. I mean.
But how long would you be courteous and because I'm assuming
Maybe like a month.
I'm thinking back like when movies used to come out like on a Thursday, Friday, you would wait that weekend. So Monday you're good to start talking about it. Like the weekend you don't say anything, but Monday you could talk about a new movie. Kind
of, but it was like, well, if you didn't get to see it this weekend, then you had to kind of wait till the next weekend.
Yeah.
Like the water cooler talk or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what the time limit is. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. Like our son ruined Lightyear for both of us and then wanted us to go see it.
But see, I don't get ruined by it though. For me, I don't get ruined. I'm intrigued. Like if you tell me how something ends, I'm like, maybe I want to watch that now.
I don't like to be spoiled. I don't like it at all. And so like when he told me the spoiler for Lightyear, I was just like, oh.
No, see, I was like looking of like when's the first tell of when it's revealed. Like when, like, you know, because usually at the beginning of the movie,
you're already looking for it.
I'm already looking for it. So I'm like on the second viewing pretty much.
See, and I don't like that. I don't like knowing what's going to come because then the whole time I'm like, I knew it. Like when Game of Thrones was live, when it was like being released, and we would obsess. Like we would have friends over and we would watch it, and it was like it was like 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night when it would come on, and then it would be a long episode, and then we would just sit there for like 2 hours and we would be like, what does this mean? And then we would listen to podcasts throughout the week and like theorize about what was coming next. And so then by the time you had like 5 theories for every possible character and their storyline, and so then by the time the episode dropped, you're like, well, I knew it had to be one of those 5 things. You're like, it kind of takes the fun out of it for me. I don't like to be spoiled if I can help it. It's just me.
It's you.
But then at the same time, I do like to fall asleep. And then I kind of don't mind falling asleep during things because you will retell the story to me in such a way that I can just like envision it. And it makes it so much more enjoyable for me than if I had stayed awake and like had to watch all of it. What was it? I think it was like Wreck-It Ralph or something. I took like a nice good nap, and you just like explained it perfectly and like all the themes and everything it was trying to convey. And I was like, oh wow. I'm like, I probably wouldn't have gotten that if I'd stayed awake. So I don't mind it. Thanks for being my storyteller. Okay. Let's catch up. Gio says, can I cook Thai food for y'all? Dude, I had to cook tonight. Well, I mean, I cook most nights, but I was like, Oh, I want some like tom yum soup. Like I want Thai food. So yes, you absolutely can come cook for us. And I want that paste. Was it the tom yum soup paste?
Yeah.
I want that paste. Okay, let me catch up. Galen says it seems like y'all are closer together now than y'all were before. Like physically or
emotionally.
That's what a week away we'll do. You're like, please don't leave me again with the kids for a whole week.
That was the roughest week. You know what I like saying, like telling people at work, I was like,
were you like, I'm a single dad?
Oh, yeah, God, I was.
Don't say that you were
like,
babysitting.
I was babysitting and I was a single dad. So it's such a struggle.
Oh my gosh.
I do like this table space though.
I do too. Like there's so many room.
So much room.
So many room for activities. Let me see. Rebels. Somebody just finished Rebels season 4 after cramming in seasons 1 through 4 over the last 2 weeks. Never seen it before. Loved it. What an ending. Rebels is great.
It is.
Rebels is such good. It's just such a good show to just like put on, and you can sit there and you can enjoy it, or it's good background. Like I am trying to get through Clone Wars because I kind of watched it. I would like to say like through osmosis, because like you sat there and like watched it.
Yeah.
But it was always one of those things where it was like you would put it on while I would be like in the kitchen or like, you know, in and out of the room. I wasn't like actively watching it. So, and it's hard to like put that next episode on sometimes.
I think because I watch a lot of like anime. And when you watch like Clone Wars, it is like, it's more of just a longer, you know, like a longer season. So it's not a thing of like, I have to watch this episode because it's like an important episode. There was a lot of just, not filler. I hate to say filler episodes, but there was just those episodes where there's a
story
main,
arc. It's like side adventures.
Yeah.
But even then, like, so I watched the one about the Ryloth, like freeing Ryloth. And that's like in season 2 or something, I think. But there's like just this whole thing. But it was like 1 or 2 episodes. It wasn't even like a big arc on there. But apparently when we were on Star Cruiser, one of the characters was talking about what happened in that 2 episode arc as part of their backstory.
That's pretty
like
cool.
One of the Star Cruiser characters, like
but
the
I mean,
cast.
and that's the thing is there's so much there's so much story in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That when there's a reference to it, there's times that like I forget, and when somebody says like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
See, that's how I feel like even if I do sit there and watch all of it, I won't remember it. Like, you know me, you know I'm going to forget all of it, but I feel like I know the overall story of Clone Wars. Yeah. Like I've seen enough of it to know what happens. And like I think we watched I did sit down and watch every single episode of season 7. Cuz that one came out like so far after. Yeah. Oh god, it was such a good season. But I'm struggling to get into it. It's been like my airport or my plane entertainment.
Well, that was like Naruto. Like I went through the first couple seasons, and they're long seasons, and I am like at the episode, like the season where it's just kind of like backstory, and I've slowed down a lot.
Yeah, you don't watch it as much as you used to. Somebody said, just wait 30 years and you'll fall asleep in the middle of anything. I feel so bad. What was it? Our son today, I had the day off of work, and so it was just me and our son, and I was like, man, I'm tired. Like, let's just go home and like put on a movie, and I'm going to take a nap. And he's like, well, we go see Lightyear. I was like, I'm not paying that much money to go take, like, I know I'm going to fall asleep. Like, put on a free movie.
What else? But yes, Thor. See, this is one where it's
you can't talk about it because it literally came out today.
Yeah. Not a spoil, but we did get to go see it. So.
We did go see it last night. We started on Thursday. That's a me kind of joke that you just pulled. But we're starting a little bit of a tradition now with like going with your friends from high school, really.
Yeah.
We went and saw Doctor Strange together. And now we watched Thor.
Didn't we go see another one? Spider-Man?
No.
Oh.
I think it was just the two of these. But it's been fun.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a little group activity because we're so, like...
Oh, and it's definitely cool. Like, you know, these were my close friends in high school.
Yeah.
You know, best man at the wedding and, you know, groomsmen. And as probably most, like, over time, you kind of fall out of touch. Not real. I mean, my best man, like, we're like brothers.
Yeah.
So it was funny because we go to family functions, like to his family functions.
Yeah, like
he's not there.
Yeah, we'll spend Christmas morning over there, and he's not there sometimes.
So yeah,
for work.
But yeah, so it's nice being able to like hang out again, kind of like old times type of thing. So
catch up on chat real quick. Yeah. Cal says he ate a Hot Ones flavored Pringles. Is one Pringle or Pringles? Is it a Pringle?
Plural of Pringle? Is Pringles?
A Pringles chip.
Oh.
I don't know.
Pringle then.
It's a Pringle. I didn't know they made Hot Ones flavored Pringles. He said his mouth is still on fire after a bowl of ice cream. Hot food is... I did a Hot Ones challenge. What was it, like a year ago? I don't think I'll ever recover. My poor tummy. It was like, we were like an hour away from our house when we did it. And that was a long car ride back home. Never again. Probably. Yeah, you didn't do it. I did it. I had to be strong, girl. Let's see. Close-up angle is better. Gets rid of the empty space. The other one was throwing up. Oh, like where is it?
All right, this one?
That one. So.
You got to help, or this empty space.
We want our logo up here. But like not necessarily a neon sign that's really distracting. We want a really cool sign. Maybe that lights up in some way or glows.
Yeah, something.
But we got to work.
That's what this big blank canvas is for. And then we've thought about putting posters or shelves or something just to kind of figure out something. But we don't want it to distract. The other thing is if we do have guests, like in-person guests.
We have an in-person guest planned like 2 months out.
If there's people that attend, like here's a perfect seating area for them. So that's the intent for this space.
The other thing is that this camera is a really old camcorder. And so you can tell that the quality is not the same as like our other ones. Woo. But it's like basically the camera's like across the room. Like it's so far away compared to the other ones.
Well, just because it doesn't have that wide enough angle.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. So eventually we'll replace it. But in the meantime, we still have a thing. Let me see. You can get through the Clone Wars with the essential episodes list that Thank the Maker made. I probably should do that. Because them recapping Rebels recently was what made me want to go watch Rebels. And then I was like, oh, but I got to get through Clone Wars because I've already gotten through Rebels.
The thing I hate about that, and maybe it's because I've seen them all, is there's like I will remember there's pieces missing. I was like, wait a minute, when did this happen? Oh wait, that's that episode that I skipped.
Yeah.
So, like I think once you've like watched it in like a complete order, you're kind of, when you do miss a piece, you're like, wait, something's missing, something's not right.
Well, let's see, with Clone Wars, it like jumps all over the place too. It's not
At the
chronological.
At the beginning.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm too lazy to go like look up a list and keep track of where it is because I'll go weeks between watching episodes. But I do have a lot of costuming to do.
It's not that hard though.
You say that. It's more effort on my part than to just like put it on and it just keeps playing. Because we've got a lot of costuming to do in the next few weeks. And so Clone Wars is just a good show to put on for costuming.
Remember when Netflix had, you could put a queue and it would watch it in that order? Or it would, that was when you were checking them out.
You would do your DVDs.
Yeah. But
back in the day.
But that would be cool if they had that on like the whatever your watch queue basically.
That would be nice, like a playlist.
Like, oh yeah, let me put that to the list.
That would be nice. Are you a weeb?
Watch anime. So
Is that what that means?
yeah.
Oh. A weeb? What does that stand for?
I don't know what it stands for. Kevin, you could probably help out what it stands for. But
Weird, energetic. There's nothing in there about anime.
yeah,
I say
it's
weird in
something
like
else.
the best way because we're all weird.
I think it's something else.
Watching extra long, extended cartoons.
Whoa. I was like, whoa, where are you going? Where are you going?
I don't know. Other people are saying they didn't see the reference to Ryloth. I've only heard of it. Mike from Hondo Supply encountered it when he was talking to one of the characters from Ryloth. So I think it's just like the more you talk to the characters and learn their backstories. I don't know if
One of the characters or one of the cast members?
one of the characters.
Okay.
I don't know if it's really like I don't think this is giving anything away. I think I can talk about it. It's just not a spoiler, but you'll notice that the characters from Ryloth all have like purple gems that they wear. Right? Like Gaia's got her thing and Wani. And purple is, I guess, like kind of the main color for Ryloth to represent Ryloth. And if you talked to the Wraith that we had, he said that the purple stems from Mace Windu coming to help. It's like a way to honor the Jedi that helped free them. I was like,
That's cool.
yeah, I don't know if like all the Wraiths have that in their backstory or like, I don't know how canon that is, but I thought that was a really cool. So
Yeah.
when I did, because I didn't remember seeing that episode before. So when I did go back and was watching it, I was like, oh man, I got to pay attention because I know somebody knows something about this. This is important in some way. Skydance Dawn said, sync up the bookcase in the background. It'll look like we're sitting next to each other. Yeah, we're a little bit off
Yeah.
right here. That's the intent, is for it to look like we're sitting next to each other.
Very, very much trying to do.
And then it's going to be really weird when I do this with my arm. No, do yours. Oh. That's very strange. That's so silly. The sound on your mic keeps coming in and out. I think you've got it too far under you.
Okay. Sorry.
Kaylin is reminding everybody to hit the like button. Thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you.
We don't know what it does, but we've heard it's important. It's engagement, right? Somebody recommended acrylic with an LED backing on the for our logo.
That might be.
That would be nice. Somebody said like do our logo like a movie poster and then backlight it. That would be cool too.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike, are you in here? Drew said, speaking of Star Cruiser, thanks for being on our podcast last week. So yes, we were on Drew's podcast along with Christine and Martin. They host the Heroes of the Halcyon podcast. It is all about Star Cruiser, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
We loved it. It was so much fun. So they are equally obsessed with Star Cruiser like us, and even sent us. I don't have the new ones, and I think our other ones are over there. But they made Kenner cards of us.
Yeah, like figures.
Yeah, so like Betty Bantha now has her own. We got those in the mail. I think I picked them up yesterday, but we didn't open them until today.
I think one of the things that I think being like doing our episodes, I'm able to and it like slow myself down, because I think if I get too excited, I start talking too fast and you won't hear what I'm saying. And so when we were on their episode, sometimes I felt like I was talking too fast, or I was like getting too excited. And it's when we were recording our stuff, we could, kind of like time out, slow down type of thing. But when you're on somebody else's, you're kind of like, slow down.
Right.
Slow down.
It's like you have less control, so you feel a little more nervous.
Yeah.
Somebody said, did I hear you guys are going back on Star Cruiser? We are, Matthew. We are going August 8th, I
Very
think.
soon.
I should know this. The problem, I've got so many like people that are traveling like in August and September. And so trying to like keep up with it. It's sometime in August. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And we're doing something different. You know what? I was going to bring part of some of the costume projects that I have, because I just need, like, I don't need things like the wig that I'm making.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe I should just like bring it and just work on my stuff. Because our daughter is obsessed with Wani, like absolutely obsessed with Wani. And so we're like, well, why not just make her a little Wani?
Yeah.
But trying to figure out how to do that in theory, it's great, but in application is a little harder. So, her dress should have come in today and it didn't. But basically I'm just going to like get her a little blue dress. I'm going to make some little purple shoulder pads. Got her some purple rain boots. It's been hard to source stuff for this one. And then I'm going to make her basically like almost like Mickey or Minnie ears, like a little headband, and then do some felt dreadlocks off the back of them.
Yeah.
But trying to find like the right color to do.
So far, it looks like it's going to come out good.
I think it will. It's just like finding the time to do it.
Yeah.
So that one should be easy to do. We're not going to do like no, Galen's asking if we're going to do the face painting. I don't think so, just because I don't think our cosplays are like really.
No. Well, and the other thing on the face paint, and it's more it's only one day. Like if you were to paint it, right?
Well, yeah.
So if you wanted to carry that through your entire character, you would have to like make sure you preserve it like through about 2 days.
Don't wash your face. Yeah. Because the other thing is, and I actually have not booked any of these for any of my clients. Like none of my clients are interested in booking it because it's $135. You can do full face paint, but you can't wear the full face paint to Batu. Mm-hmm. So if you do, what I've seen is some people will do the full face paint and they'll wipe off enough of it. But I'm like, well then, just like wiping it. Like, but $135 to me is a lot of money for
face paint.
Less than 50% of your face being painted.
I've
heard it's great quality.
And I think maybe for the portrait, like the pictures.
Yeah.
If they were able to do it like right before that, but just trying to time that up would be crazy hard because depending on when you got your portrait.
And here's the other thing is that they only offer, when I was asking about it, when it first was announced, it was announced right before the beginning of May. You could only do it on day one, so like the afternoon, or day two starting in the afternoon. So you couldn't even do it in the morning before your Batu visit.
You have to do it after.
So, and it makes sense because you don't want to go to Batu and sweat and then come back and you're covered in in streaky face paint. But I'm like, well, I'm glad that they're offering it.
Yeah.
I just think it needs some adjustments or something. But let's see. What did I miss? How come your stream title is 7/8/22? It's just the date. Isn't that the date? Is today the 8th? Yeah, today's the 8th.
Gotta go. See, so on that's where I'll step in and say, I've streamed on Twitch and it's pretty integrated into OBS, but it's very weird doing it on like OBS to YouTube, which it does it, and it lets you start a broadcast, and that was what I think you were asking right before.
Yeah.
Like if you saw us go live and not go live and go live, because I was trying to figure out how to start it to have a link, and I was trying to do it through YouTube, and I really needed to do it through OBS.
Oh.
So it was like a weird thing. It was my fault, but I need to learn that system now.
We'll figure it out.
So
this is our second time streaming on YouTube, so we'll get there. We'll get our groove. Let me see. I swear one of the wraiths I saw in a video looks like Imagineer Joe Rody. He absolutely does, like big time.
He does.
Like they could just dress that guy up as Joe Rody and have like a character interaction at the parks. Captain Maleficent asks, what are our next cosplays? So our very, very next ones are next week. We are going to Comic Palooza, which is just a comic convention in Houston. But we're just going to be recycling. So I'm going to try to get Wani done.
Okay.
But then also, our son wants to wear his Mandalorian costume that we made him for Halloween, which is kind of like, thank goodness, because he was sick on Halloween, and so he didn't even really get to wear it out. Or he was sick like the day before Halloween, so we canceled all of our plans. So he walked around the block, and that was about it. But I made him a bandolier, a bandolier, like the whole thing, the belt, the bandolier. But I made it out of like vinyl or something. And it's like disintegrating. Like he wore it all last weekend because we pulled it out for him to try on, and it's just like literally falling apart, like flaking off. And so I'm starting to get into leatherworking. And when I say starting to, I've bought a ton of stuff. I
was like, I want to see the starting part. I see the bill part of it.
Yeah, there's been a few bills. I went back today because initially, I was like, I want to start this we're doing Jedi cosplays for our next Star Cruiser because we want to go down the Jedi path. And so I wanted to do a cool Ahsoka style, like meshing her Clone Wars look from her Mandalorian look, but then also building in some functionality with like patches and stuff for phones and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I went and I bought some leather that was already it's already gray. But then when I needed to redo our son's bandolier, whatever it's called, you need like a really dark, rich, like chocolate brown. And they didn't have that natural, like.
So you have to go get all the dyes.
So I have to go get like an untanned or undyed, like it's just like straight up like a side of a cow. And go like pick that out, and then I had to go pick up like dyes and the little swabs to dye it and the finisher and like all this extra stuff because now I'm dyeing leather.
Yeah.
So it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But
there's that, and then working on our actual costumes.
And then working the costumes, yeah. So trying to get some stuff. Betty Bantha might become canon. Oh, when he asked why why our live stream was that way, he's in the UK, so their months and days are backwards, and he's in the future, so it's already tomorrow over there. Gotcha. That's good to know. We should probably
say June.
Think of that. Yeah, what's July?
Oh, say July.
Danny's going in November. That's gonna be fun. Oh my God, you're having so much fun. Okay, Michael says, do you have the baby Rodian from Target?
Yes.
Yes, we do. I had an idea to cut the ears off of Rodian. And you say no.
No,
so I'm going to make them. I'll make them out of like felt or foam sheets or something instead. But yes, our daughter loves that. The Rodian. She just calls it Wani.
Yeah.
And just carries it around, and it's got like a little carrying pack. Except the little baby Rodian's head is so heavy
it is
that it doesn't stay in the pouch. It just like instantly flops out.
Put like a little sandbag under it to keep it like weighted down.
Let me see. Cal says, have you heard that Dano is doing a Gaia cosplay? Guya, yes. And he's doing that for.
Is he saying?
I don't know. Oh, maybe he's not. Take that back. Anyway, I will be with him when he is debuting that costume. And so I am probably also going to do a gender bend Star Cruiser costume. And I think we've wrangled a couple other people into being part of our shenanigans. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. Danny asked, did you name your BD droid?
I did not. So the funny thing is I thought about doing, because whenever I see it, if anybody uses tools, it looks like a DeWalt tool. So it'll probably be along those like
That'd be cute because then it's also like Walt, like Disney, like D
maybe.
Walt,
BD Walt,
BD Walt,
BDL WT,
something like that.
BD Walt.
That'd be cute. There we go. We might be naming it right now.
Yeah.
The face paint doesn't last too long. Ooh, Galen says she has an art degree, so she will be doing the face paint for 3 other people in their groups.
See, I think that's probably the way. Like, if you're doing it for yourself, that way you're able to touch up and do it all.
Yeah. Well, remember, I wanted to do stencils.
Yeah.
And then just be like
That way you could just
boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. We don't have
again.
time.
I don't think it's bad.
Oh.
I don't think face paint in general is bad. I think it's just
We have 1 month.
that's what I'm saying. But I don't think it's bad. I think it's just there's not enough time for like a significant, pretty significant amount, and not be able to go to the parks with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
or you can't go to like the really all out one if you did.
Yeah. You're not getting enough value out of it.
Yeah.
Make sure you get setting spray for your face paints. Let me see.
One of the next cosplays I need to do, because I have a Saja one, I have a Sammy one, I need to do a Sandra one.
Sandra, you need to do all of them.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna buy the lightsaber tunic this time so I can be a Saja with you because you looked really cool, and I got jealous. And then like Justin and Naomi were like a couple of Sajas, and then their kid was a Saja too. I was like, oh man. So I'm gonna buy one this time. I might go ahead and buy it now because our window is open to buy it. That way we don't have to like pack it on the way home because we're probably gonna buy too much stuff.
You think?
Again, maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see. Danny says we Texans know leather, boots, chaps, saddles. We got it all. Yeah. I've only gone into the leather store twice, and they were like, oh yeah, let me show you this holster. I mean, like every time I was like, let me show you this holster. And I'm like, oh, that's great. They're like, what are you going to make? I'm like, Star Wars costumes.
Well, one of the things I was very, I thought going into it, it was going to be kind of like a store where you're not going to be able to just kind of like feel comfortable, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's like you go in there like a gym or something where you're like, what do you need? You need leather, whatever, go over here, go over here. But they were very like inviting and answered your questions.
Yeah, it's a tiny little store, and we spent probably an hour in there.
So and it was funny because it was like one of the other customers.
Yeah.
That was just like, oh yeah, you probably need one of these. You probably need one of these.
He's just like pulling things off the shelf. He's like, yep, you're going to need one of those. This is for this. And then he was like, do you guys have scrap leather? And he's like, okay, well, this you use for this. And just walks me through everything.
Yeah, so that was cool. It was very cool like that there was help,
Well, same thing happened this time because you weren't with me this time. I was a big girl and I went by myself. But same thing happened this time. I was like, okay, I bought a bunch of stuff, or I have a bunch of stuff. Did I buy the right things? And I like pull everything out. And I was like, is this a good top finish or whatever they call it? And they're like, what is that? I was like, I don't know. And the guy that works there, he was like, I've never used this. And then there were like 2 other guys that were like, what are you trying to do? I was like, I don't know. It said I need a top coat. And so this is the brand's top coat. And they're like, no. Go grab one of these, grab this. You can use this or this. Like, it's all personal. Like, just make sure you finish it in some way, or it's, or it'll bleed and it'll do all these things. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, can one of you show me what I need? Because y'all just throw out like a bunch of chemicals and like different names that I don't know. And so somebody walked me back there and was like, here you go.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it was, it's nice. Everybody's just like, they want you to succeed at it, and they've been in your shoes. And so it feels very friendly and opening and like welcoming. And I don't know. Like you said, it wasn't scary.
Yeah.
Because I was scared to go in there the first time. I was like,
I think it's just more because it's a specialty type place. There could be kind of like that gatekeeping, like if you're not one of us, you're not gonna kind of fit in type of thing.
Somebody said W41T for Walt. BDW41T. That's kind of long. Maybe just W41T would be good.
W4.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I like that. You could like
write it down.
Put a little. Do we have any?
I mean, he's got like a nice little spot for it.
Yeah, I like it. They're talking about stencils and how you can just go to like the hobby stores and use stencils for what's it called? For face painting.
Yeah.
Mark Roma says you can make a holster and put a Lola droid in it. Probably eventually that's what we're going to end up doing.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could figure out like a Lola, kind of like the little propeller hats type of thing, where it just kind of like not on your hat, but just like off your shoulder, and it just kind of floats around.
Like it looks like it's floating.
Yeah.
That'd be cute. That'd be super cute.
But you have to make it light enough.
My other idea before we landed on doing Wani cosplays for our daughter was to do Little Leia.
Yeah.
Because she is very much a little Leia. And I thought it would make for a really cute costume for her. But it just seemed like it makes more sense if we're going to Star Cruiser and we're going to see Wani. She loves Wani so much, like we might as well just do that.
Yeah.
Except the other day I asked her, what do you want to be when we go to Star Cruiser? She goes, a princess. I was like, what about Wani? She's like, no, not a princess. And like walks me through like all of the things that a princess wears. I was like, well, I mean, I guess Belle could go to Star Cruiser. We'll see. We will relive the same mistakes that we made the first time, which was making too many costumes, like putting together too many costumes for our children and them not wearing them. It's inevitable.
Yeah. So what I'm attempting for my Star Cruiser, I am going to go to the Jedi path. So it's going to be more linens and kind of that soft material. Well, it's going to be that mix between that and kind of Cal, maybe some leathers in there.
Leather, you say?
Or thicker material, like
ponchos
and stuff like that.
Capes.
But I'm thinking day one, and I've thought about this like idea for like ever. Like I've wanted to do it, but I like the idea of it kind of like a mashup, kind of like Disbound, but it's like a Jedi Disbound. So like the first day, it's gonna be more like maybe like a Donald, where like maybe my poncho's like a bluish color, and it's white.
Yeah.
So it's like gives you that Donald vibe, and then I think second day I'm gonna try to do like a Mickey, doing like the red, black, and yellow. Yeah. So I'm gonna try. Let's see how it turns out.
You've talked about doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Just like even outside of like Star Cruiser. So if you could do it, I think it's gonna look really good. And then you got me jealous because I was like, well, I want something cool like that. But I think my cosplays or costumes are gonna be like Ahsoka inspired.
Well, see, and I think that's my whole thing. Like, I love when we see characters that we know. Yeah. But it really does open it up for you're just anything.
You can be your own character.
Yeah, you could be and that's the part that I love about it is I could go silly as long as, I feel I'm within those parameters
like the bounds of Star Wars.
Yeah, like doing more linens, and it's going to be a Jedi path, or Scoundrel having, a jacket type of thing, but I don't have to go with a certain, I could just take the inspiration from them.
Yeah. So. No, and that's what I'm doing with mine is like I'm wearing like Ahsoka colors, but I'm not going to do like one for one costumes. And then like with her hair too, like I'm not going to wear like head tails. I bought fake hair. And I bought some fake gray hair. It matches my hair pretty good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. But they're just like long, basically like ponytails. And then I bought some blue like clip-in extensions. And so I'm going to braid them ahead of time. And so that way I can just like clip them in and go. And so it's going to look kind of like how Ashley Eckstein does her hair when she does like Ahsoka inspired looks. So I'll just do that. And
I'm excited to see that. I think it'll be cool.
I hope it works out. I didn't even do it. I've had the stuff for...
You got...
1 month. Oh my gosh. And so I'm the admin on the Galactic Star Cruising Costuming group on Facebook. And it's like great. The people in there are absolutely great. They're super supportive. And like people will post what they're doing and they'll post pictures of their costumes, like either in progress and like ask for advice or like their finished ones. And I saw one today that was like wrapping up costumes for our end of September voyage. I'm like, we haven't started.
Yeah, we need to get on it.
None of us have a single full costume at this point.
No.
So
when you get on it,
we need to get on that for sure. Somebody's turning their shock trooper holster into a data pad holster. That's smart. And I think I'm going to add a little data pad pouch holster
we're gonna have to figure out how to make
for our son's bandolier, and then for like us, because what I'm noticing right now is that Ahsoka did not have good storage options for costumes at all. Like she must not have had a data pad. She just had her little comm link. That was it. Because Stormy Stitch asked, are you going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party when you're down for Star Cruiser? And if so, are you considering reusing costumes or making easier ones for the park night? I am not going to be doing Mickey's Not So Scary. I will do Oogie Boogie Bash this year. We did Mickey's Not So Scary many years ago now. Not many, it was like 4 years ago probably.
4?
It was 4, actually.
I thought it was more recent than that, but
it was a while ago. Remember, we've lost like 2 years of our lives too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, we did Not So Scary. I liked it.
Yeah.
Because the crowds are really low and that was nice. But I don't think that this Halloween parties start until like right after we leave Orlando this time. But we're going to be doing other things because usually we're just like park goers. So we've got reservations for Hoop Dee Doo Review. I do have reservations for California Grill that I'm probably going to cancel.
Which one's that one?
That's the restaurant that's on top of the Contemporary.
Oh, okay.
And so you can watch the fireworks from there. But there's also a lounge at California Grill that you could just go and like get on the standby list and go have drinks and watch the fireworks from like the window over. So I'm like, I think I'd rather do that than spend money on a really nice steak dinner that we're going to enjoy, but like our kids are just going to eat French fries. Let's see. Betty Bantha crossover with Clarabelle Cow. Clarabelle is a gem. I do love Clarabelle. Nick Werner is playing Final Fantasy. Is that 9 for SNES?
Dang.
You love Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I was a big PS1 7. The first 7. I love that game.
First 7.
Yeah. Well, because the remake came out.
I
played
was the
through
one that. Came out a few years ago.
Yeah,
I sat there and watched you play that one.
Yeah. It's beautiful, but wasn't the same. Didn't have the same magic to me.
I think also time has passed. And so like me sitting there watching you play it, I'm like, why is this happening? These are some weird things that are happening. Mark Roma asks, has anyone actually flown in their costume, tempted to start the immersion early, but not thinking the stairs will be fun? I don't know of anybody that's flown in their costume to Star Cruiser. I don't know. I mean, you make it looks, but like it's also the airport.
I think that's the big issue. It's gonna be the airport.
Well, I mean, it's just like the airport's full of just like all kinds of people.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it just depends on the costume, but it'd be whatever the like TSA says. Like, you can't wear that.
But it just also may not be that comfortable to like wear it and then like move yourself and your luggage over to like you're dragging your Mickey luggage behind you.
Oh.
To the shuttle bus or something.
Big robe.
Yeah. That's true. You might get caught up in the luggage with your robes. Let's see. I Am Geek Show's in here. Can't wait to see you at Comic Palooza. Yeah, so I Am Geek Show is another podcast that's here in Houston, and they're like doing like a podcast. Like they're on the podcast stage doing a live show. Tried to get us to do it, and we were like, we're scared. We don't know what we're doing. So yeah, we are doing, we got media badges for it. So we'll
Yeah,
be like
I'm gonna go check
working
it
it,
out.
covering it. We've gone every year. Did they have it last year? I think they did and we didn't go, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, we've gone almost every
Yeah.
year that this convention's been going on. It's an enjoyable little local convention.
It's been getting bigger. Like it's progressively gotten bigger, so that's kind of cool to see. Like going when it was, not so much, and
Yeah.
so
No, it'll be fun. But yeah, we'll be dressing up for that. We'll be hanging out with I Am Geek Show, with the whole cast of I Am Geek Show, because we went with Ryan, one of the hosts, and did an escape room. Is that like not a month ago? It was a few weeks ago.
yeah, it was a few weeks ago.
That was really fun.
Yeah,
We got to flex our escape room muscles.
yeah.
We love escape rooms. We do them as often as we can.
Well, it's funny because we get those card games too.
Yeah.
They're like escape room. They're like puzzle games.
Yeah.
So we're always
We didn't do so well in that last one, though. We did one last weekend, I think.
yeah. Well, I think some of them they get too gimmicky, and they want you to fold and tear paper and do stuff like that, where it's not necessarily like intuitive to the puzzle. It's just like, here, fold this paper in a way that you find the answer type of thing. So
yeah,
kind of takes the fun out of it.
Nah, it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite of the ones that we did. Let's see. How often do you actually put the data pad down? Is it just at meals and rides? Yeah, you're on your data pad pretty much. The first night, you don't really need it all that much.
I think on that,
but you just don't know. You don't know when you're getting
exactly.
a notification.
I think that's the thing. It would be nice to know like certain times to check it, but then it would be too much like okay, everybody look at your phone now. So
yeah. Well, the other thing too is like we were on one of the first voyages, and so they hadn't worked out all of the wrinkles of using like personal phones. So we had loaner phones. We had loaner phones. So we had to carry around our personal phone and our loaner phone just so that we could like take pictures and videos and still do the missions. And so it was just a lot of like, if you weren't looking at this one, you were looking at this one.
yeah.
It was a lot. So I'm curious what it's going to be like when we're using our own devices this time. Are we going to be like, because I never once, I don't think like, I can't say that. I very rarely like opened up Instagram, and that was just to post to stories or something like that every once in a while. But it was very, very rare that I did that.
Now that you have
Now
access
that it's all in one phone, am I going to be tempted to be on my phone more? Because I was able to like disconnect a little bit, which was nice. Let's see. I Am Geek Show said we need to go back and do the third room at the escape game. I'm down. That was fun. Do you please have any tips for saving money for going from the UK to a US Disney resort with flights, accommodations, food, and obviously purchases? We've never been, but hope to go to one soon. Whew, that's tough. The flights right now are just wild.
That's, I think, the biggest reason why we haven't said yes to going to Celebration next year.
Yeah. And also we don't have tickets.
Yeah, well, that too. But
it's expensive.
But I think the flights themselves was like the biggest hurdle of just like, if, once you're there, you can kind of figure it out. But getting over there is...
Because the other thing is too, is like going to Celebration. Anaheim was our first time ever leaving our kids overnight. Mm-hmm. And so it was great and it was fun, but we were just in another state. And so if we went to Celebration Europe, we would have to bring the kids with us, because I don't think I would be okay like leaving the country and not having our kids with us. So then we're paying for 4 tickets instead of 2 tickets. So that gets really expensive. So yeah, I don't think we're going to, as much as I want to go. But the question was, how do you save money with the U.S. resort, the accommodations, the food, purchases? you have to be disciplined. I can't help you there, buddy. For accommodations, Disney does have like a big range. I don't want to like do a whole travel agent spiel, but they do have a big range of accommodations. Like the value resorts are really good. We've stayed in the most basic of value resorts.
But there's even like the Good Neighbor resorts
there's
or
good,
hotels and
yeah,
stuff.
there's Good Neighbor hotels. You lose a lot of the benefits of staying at a Disney resort if you do one that's not owned and operated by Disney, but they're still good. They're generally better value. Like they're cheaper per night than doing a Disney resort. But even like we stayed at All Star Music the night before Star Cruiser back in March, and I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Like I had no complaints. It's big.
I think one of the things too, it's also because we love staying at Pop. Like we're kind of, that
Pop Century Princesses.
We like doing that because it lets us go to the parks more, and as APs, we don't have to pay for tickets. Yeah. So it's just getting over there and finding a room.
Yeah. And we used to not travel as much as we used to.
Yeah.
And so our tickets, our flights would be free because we just wisely accumulate and spend our points on flights. Yeah. So it was really great. So we would just be spending for a Disney trip for accommodations wise, we were only spending
and then just find a weekend,
few $100s on a room for a few nights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and find weekends that are cheap. So go in the off periods because that's when rooms are going to be cheaper. You're going to have better deals.
Better availability too.
Yeah, better availability. Flights are going to be cheaper, lower crowds. That's the best thing. In terms of food, just don't do sit down meals. Like that's the biggest advice is like sit down meals are expensive and they take a lot of time.
Yeah. The meal plans, I think we've done meal plans like
we only did it once. Our very first time, I think.
Just once?
Maybe twice.
I like the point part of it where you were able to just like go get certain things.
It's like you have so many credits for the day and then or it was like so many credits for your entire trip.
But the ones where they were locked in for like a sit down, you're like, I don't really want to do a sit down. So
we're very much like, we do not like to stop.
I think most people are the same. They
yes and no. I have some people that will book like multiple sit down meals in a day. They just want, I think, that dedicated break where they know that they're going to be sitting down and like resting. And I like the idea of that. But I remember last time we went and did sit down reservations. We did the Crêpe place, the new one in the France Pavilion at Epcot. Oh, yeah. And we were just like annoyed the whole time.
Well, because we wanted to like, hurry up.
Because like we got to the park at a weird time. And so we were trying to ride a couple rides before we had to go to our reservation. And then we also had like a Remy's reservation that should have lined up perfectly, but then didn't. And so we're like, we gotta sit here. We didn't like the food. Like the kids didn't eat. Like it was just a whole thing. And we don't like to have to stop at a certain, like stop whatever we're doing in the middle of the day to be at a certain point unless it's like a ride. But even then with a ride, you have like an hour to go get over there. I don't know. Just, we need to be better about it, I guess. Not really. It's not like I make commissions off of book and dining. But we are going to do a Hoop-Dee-Doo review this time, which I am excited about because it just seems like a...
Well, it just like came back. So
it just came back.
Everybody's excited about it.
And weirdly, the before Star Cruiser opened up, the way that the Star Cruiser specialists, like the people that you call to book it, were describing it to me, they're like, the best way to describe it is like Hoop-Dee-Doo review. I'm like, I've never been. I don't know what that means. And so I've heard things about it, and I've always heard great things, but we're going to go do it. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let me see. So yes, not a lot of help, but just try to find the weekends that are like the weeks that are off weeks. Typically it's when kids are like the few weeks after kids have started school because parents don't want to pull their kids out of school at that time. Those are usually the weeks to go. Are you guys planning on doing the themed escape rooms here at Universal Orlando at City Walk? Oh, I heard about that. I'm always down for an escape room. Yeah. Like always down for an escape room.
I wonder
maybe you will come with me in October. That'd be
how
what
many
would
people?
get you.
How many people do you have to have?
Here's the thing with us in escape rooms. Like, we went with I Am Geek Show, but usually we're just like, just the two of us.
We're very competitive.
We're very competitive to the point that we have done like at home escape rooms and like challenged each other. Like, you did it by yourself and timed yourself, and then you were like, okay, now it's your turn, and like reset it, and then I had to do it by myself. And we were within a minute of each other. I won, but we were within a minute of each other. So typically we don't do escape rooms with other people because I don't know why.
No.
Just,
I think the thing is
weird,
like we've had large groups.
We always started with like the big groups,
And then it just like, because we go so often that,
yeah,
you know, the group kind of just starts to peel off. But there's like the birthdays and, you know, some celebration like that where we have a bigger group come back. So
yeah,
I don't think we're opposed to it.
no, we're not opposed to it, but I can get.
But I think
bossy.
those days, I
can be very much a leader.
I think those we know it's going to be more chaotic.
And like back off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, why didn't you look over there? They're fun. We had gotten to the point where we were like regulars at one place. Mm-hmm. And we had like the same guide each time. And he would come and tell us like, he would let us like sneak peek into other rooms and like tell us about other places in town to go to. Danny's heading out. Good night, Danny. I pray the souvenir shop is stocked. I want the mugs. I heard the mugs were sold out recently. I know. What's the best time? So now, since we're on, I'll hop back and forth. What's the best time to shop at the Scoundrel collection? I would say as soon as you get there, because you don't have too much going on, and the longer you get into your voyage, the busier things are going to be. And the other thing is the Scoundrel collection, which is the gift shop on Star Cruiser. It's only open the first 2 days. It closes at 11 p.m. on day 2. Dano was in there at like 10:45. It's like, oh no. To try to get in there early. That would be my recommendation because it's tricky.
Ours was day 2. I think it was after the parks that we just kind of picked the time where we were like, you know what?
It was late. It was like 9 p.m.
Like, let's just go and just kind of
do all the damage. But I would recommend doing it earlier if you can. Like, do it on day 1. And the person that's asking is on our voyage. So if you see us in the gift shop, go in the gift shop. Dawn's running out. Have a great evening. You too, Dawn. But yeah, hopefully the shop is well stocked because it's just that it's like your only opportunity to buy those things and they know it. And so maybe that's why they're like, oh, we've got one in the back. I can spend 2 days at each Disney World park. Is Paris the same way? Is it that big? Yeah, so before we move on to that, we've got one more question about escape rooms. And then we can go. So somebody says, what's a good tip for somebody who's never done an escape room and wants to try one? So there is a really good YouTube video. Mark Rober did it.
He talks about how to beat.
Or was it Chris Ramsey that did the escape room one?
No, Rober did the...
Rober did the really good one that was like, get organized, assign a leader.
Yeah.
That one's honestly, like, that's the best way to prepare for an escape room is to go watch that video. And we used to rewatch that video when we were still like, we had less than 6 under our belts. We would like go rewatch that video. Basically, like, if you get a good group of people, don't get too many people, because if there's too many people, it's going to be chaos and it's hard to wrangle everybody together. I think like the sweet spot is probably 4 to 6 people, depending on like the maximum capacity for a room.
Yeah.
I would say if the maximum capacity is 10, basically like cut it in half.
Yeah.
But assign a leader that's going to keep track of all of the puzzles that have yet to be solved. Like what has been solved, what's yet to be solved, and what props or clues or things do you have. I think that's helpful.
Mm-hmm. Just like somebody kind of
managing, like overseeing everything.
Like, hey, we got this lock over here.
Yeah.
And just always reminding everybody, hey, we have this lock over here. We still have it, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's sometimes what happens is like we don't know where to go from here. And it's like,
and sometimes people will solve things and not say that they solved them. And that's the other thing is like, if you solve something, if you push a button, look around and see what that button did. Because that's tripped us up a few times. That would be my advice. Do you have any others?
no, I mean, have fun. Like,
under
I think
everything.
just look around.
It's just so, I love them so much. Okay. Let me see.
Disneyland Paris.
Disneyland Paris. Let's talk. So the question was, I can spend 2 days at each Disney World park. Is Disney the same way? Is it that big? Not Walt Disney Studios. You can knock that park out in like a couple of hours. Like, it truly is a half-day park. Like, we talk about like Animal Kingdom being a half-day park because once you've done everything there, you know what you want to do, like what you want to go back and do, and so you don't hit everything. You literally could do everything at Walt Disney Studios in half a day.
Well, I think that was one of the things that was interesting is they had a whole bunch of like the Pixar, and they had a bunch of the lands like you were talking about, but they're way
little.
smaller.
I should have brought a park map up here. I was looking at it earlier today, reminiscing. Yeah. Because it's just like.
But they are expanding, so they're gonna have the Arendelle and Avengers Campus over there.
Yeah.
So I think that'll like.
And they're gonna have a Galaxy's Edge.
They are.
Somewhat. It might be like a little tippy edge of the galaxy because it's like it looks like it's going to be really small in comparison to what we have in the States. But yeah, Walt Disney Studios, you could probably stretch it to fit a full day, but it's very similar like California Adventure or Hollywood Studios where there is a lot of Disney Junior stuff in there. So like one whole section of it is like Disney Junior like shows and things. So if that's not your thing. You could just go ride Tower of Terror over and over, which is what I would do.
Full day of that.
Great. The little Toy Story area technically has 3 rides, but it was super cute. It was like, I forget what it was called, parachute drop or something, but it was like the little
soldier,
like the soldiers with the parachutes. And so it would like take you up and drop you, but it wasn't like a dungeon drop or like a Tower of Terror drop. Like it's taking you up like maybe 3 floors and dropping you, like slowly bringing you down like you're in a parachute. There was one that was called, it was Slinky Dog, and it was like the ride vehicle for Slinky Dog Dash, but it just took you in a little circle, like a very little circle. Like I think it was one Slinky Dog, the whole thing. I'm not even kidding.
Just like chasing its tail?
Pretty much. But then the circle went like this, like the track went up and down. That was the one I rode in the rain. But it was just like a little 2-minute ride of just going in a circle and going up and down. So that's the second ride. And then the third ride was like an RC ride. And so you're in the RC car, but it just has a track that goes like this.
Oh, that's cool.
But those were the 3 rides in Toy Story Playland. And then so you go past that, and then there was like a little French pavilion, which is, I still don't understand why there's a French pavilion in the French park. But, okay. But that's where Remy's is.
Okay.
And it's the exact same Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, like literally the exact same ride. It was cute, but we've done it, but like, it's okay. But that's as far back in the park as you can go right now. Eventually, they'll do the Arendelle area and the Galaxy's Edge area past that. And then there's also Crush's Coasters, which we haven't talked about, which is from Finding Nemo, Crush from Finding Nemo. And that one, my friend was saying that's the closest thing to Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Because it's a roller coaster, but the thing spins like 360. And that was wild.
Oh, you rode it?
I did Crush's Coaster, okay. Yeah. But ours didn't spin that much.
I think that's the thing that I'm nervous about Cosmic Rewind is just like seeing everybody puking afterwards.
Or you puking. Are you afraid that you're going to like see people puking, like walking into it and you're going to be like,
No, see, I don't get like squeamish from that. But I think just like, again, I've seen the video, not the video, like the very like, oh, they're getting so sick, but just like the dad, laying down Aaron himself type of like, oh man, like he's trying to hold it together, but it got him.
Like it got
That's
him
what
good.
that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. I'm kind of nervous about it because lately I've been getting like queasy on rides. I'm not pregnant at all. Not even a little bit. But I've been getting like queasy when I go on rides. Like when we did Incredicoaster. Remember afterwards I was like, I need to sit down. So I'm kind of nervous about it. Like, am I old now? Is this what happens? This is how I fall apart. Because I can't ride roller coasters anymore. But yeah, so we did Crush's Coaster, and it was okay. But the thing over there at Disneyland Paris is the rides are made with French people in mind, not Americans in mind. And I mean this size-wise because all of the ride vehicles, like loading in and out of them, are tiny. Like, I had trouble when we did Crush's Coaster. Was it I don't remember if it went like this or if it was one of the ones that you pull like down on your waist. I think it was one of the ones you pull down on your waist. But we had 2 shopping bags with us. And they weren't that, like, we didn't have a ton of stuff in them. It was like probably the size of like a backpack. We had difficulty, like we had to like basically hold it while we were riding the ride. You couldn't easily like store it at your feet. Like there was just no room. And then getting onto like the old, like the dark rides, like Pinocchio, or if you were doing like a Peter Pan or something, you had to like shimmy into probably this wide of a gap because it had the bar that would pull down. And so the gap between like the front of the seat and the bar that came down was like this big. Like I struggled. And I think I'm like an average to maybe slim size person. And I was like, how? It was crazy. Yeah, that was surprising to me. But Disneyland, so Walt Disney Studios, there's not much to do there right now. Disneyland Paris, I think you could probably, I would give it like 2 days. If you really wanted to like do everything there, 2 days. But Walt Disney Studios is like less than a day, 1 day park, sadly. But then the property there is just beautiful. Like you can always just go like mosey around, go see everything, go to the Art of Marvel Hotel. And
yeah, that one looked cool. And
that
then
one was really pretty.
You were talking about the window.
Yeah, there's a bar in the hotel, and I don't know the name of it, but it opens at 5. I'll tell you that. And we were there before 5. We're going to put a damper on our plans. But it kind of looked like, I mean, it looks like a nice like hotel style bar, like a very fancy bar, like a upscale. But it had these large screens that look like windows over New York, but it's got Stark Tower and all these things. And then you would see Spider-Man like fling by, and kind of like a Star Cruiser where you see ships and things go by the windows. It was like that. So that was neat. We looked at it like this. But yeah, Disneyland Paris, to do everything, I would give it probably 2 days. Because they had some great stuff, some really great rides there. Big Thunder Mountain was like the best Big Thunder Mountain because it was really smooth.
It looks nice.
That one was really good. Space Mountain, though. Hyperspace Mountain. And I didn't even tell you about this one. There's an Indiana Jones ride there, but it's not like either of our Indiana Jones. Disney World is just a stunt show. Disneyland is like the dinosaur track. Yeah. This one was just like a straight up roller coaster, but it was like an amusement park roller coaster, not a theme park roller coaster. And it did like a loop. Old wooden style one? It felt like that. It did a loop. It did a full loop, but the loop was really tiny, so it was less of like it was more like a But the other thing is because it was more of like an amusement park roller coaster, it had the thing that came down here, but there was no padding. And so my friend was like, lean your head all the way forward. She's like, don't lean your head back or it's going to like, you're going to get knocked around. And I was like, okay. And she's like really weird about like, she gets really motion sick and stuff on rides. So she didn't ride some of the rides with me because she was like, my stomach can't handle that. She's like, this is the most I can do. And it's just this little baby loop. And I was like, okay. And so I thought I was doing it, but I wasn't pushing my head far enough. And so we go the first turn and my head goes whack, whack. And it hit like hard. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm like, the whole time I'm like this, like as far as I can.
craning your neck.
And I still like it like hit the back of my head like really hard. And I was like, why is this fun? Like, this isn't fun to me. I got out that ride. I was like, like first, like I'm queasy now from riding that roller coaster. And now my head hurts from like being jostled around. So that one was, I did not like that one. I won't go back to that one. But yeah, Big Thunder Mountain was great. Trying to think of the other rides at Disneyland Paris. I mean, there's like Phantom Manor. It's more of your typical like Magic Kingdom rides there. Like not so intensive rides, but they were fun. It was cool. Yeah, it was nice. I'll dream of it. I don't know when we'll ever get back to Disneyland Paris.
It might be a while.
Yeah, it will be. Galen says, I'm 5'2". Would the Paris rides work for you? They would. It's just like you have to shimmy into the spaces. So it's not so much of like height wise. It's more of like how wide you are and like slipping into them. I was shocked by that. It's great for that section of Epcot, especially going from Cosmic Rewind to Mission Space while holding it all together. Owen says, I'm 6'3" and 3XL. You're saying I won't fit in anything. Don't need 2 days when I can't get on anything. Yeah. It's tight in there. And you can go up into the castle. There's also like a little Alice in Wonderland labyrinth maze that you can go through. But then there's also her little castle tower thing that you can go up into. But the staircases are incredibly narrow. Yeah. Like, that is one thing that Disney World and Disneyland do is they definitely make sure that there's lots of like walking space and like moving space. And what we think are pinch points are nothing compared to Disneyland Paris. Like, it was just tighter overall. Like, the big spaces, the hub, all of those, the main walkways, they're nice and spacious, but just like.
Well, I think it's just different consideration for walkways probably here.
Yeah.
Than over there. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. The park is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Disneyland Paris is so lush. It's so well landscaped and just it feels like you're in a Magic Kingdom or a Disneyland. That park was gorgeous. I could just tuck away and live there. But then Walt Disney Studios was just like, oh, like it was so, because there was no landscaping. Like it truly just felt like a lot of concrete. Like I would go for Tower of Terror and that was it. That's it. At this point, I mean, Avengers Campus is about to open in like a few weeks. And then once they have the new lands, I think it'll be worth going over there and seeing it. But there's also a show that's called Mickey and the Magician, I think. And we wanted to go see that one, but we didn't get into it. And then it didn't work out with timing for the rest of our day. So, but yeah. No, we're caught up in chat. We're good. No, we're already at 10:30 too. Look at that. We hardly talked about Disneyland Paris.
No. Well, I don't know. It was like one of those things that, like hearing about it, very much like there was all the questions that I had were more about Disneyland Paris, and as opposed to like Disneyland California, I was kind of more excited for DCA, like kind of the Hollywood Studio, because there was a lot of this, like maybe because that's why, like once they have an Avengers Campus, they're gonna have that kind of built up. They're gonna have an Arendelle, which is gonna be pretty cool.
It's gonna be a place that you can go see that.
Yeah, so I think they're just building up to.
Yeah, because remember Hollywood Studios got a lot of flack before Toy Story Land opened, and then before Galaxy's Edge opened. They're like, "There's nothing to do here," and it was still our favorite park. Yeah, it was just
because it had Star Wars, but it had Tower of Terror. It had Rock and Roller Coaster, which is like a fast ride. Mm-hmm. At that time, I mean, Test Track was kind of a fast ride, but there wasn't really like, I mean, I guess like, Space Mountain and stuff, but not like the same.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We've always liked Hollywood Studios, so
Hollywood Studios is so great. It's my favorite. But yeah, so I guess just to kind of wrap up Disneyland Paris. The other thing with the food, like I know we mentioned on the podcast, like the food was really bad. You just couldn't find anything.
I think that's weird. That was, one of the odd things. I
so
thought there would
weird.
be like, breads.
Escargot.
No, just
Like
like
they're just passing out caviar
know,
everywhere.
You think baguettes and croissants like all over, they would be fresh and. So.
I mean, I had a croissant in Disneyland Paris, but it wasn't like a mind-blowing croissant. But literally, like, we walked in and we walked into this little cafe thing, and I took a picture of the menu, and it was literally like coffee, a regular croissant, a chocolate croissant, and or you could have like melons, like 2 slices of melon, which is what my friend ate because she was gluten-free.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, that's the only thing they offered. It was weird. I think they had like a couple yogurt drinks like in the little like refrigerated section, but
not too much.
no.
That's crazy.
It is. And then even with lunch, I mean, I think we were probably limited by my friend's gluten restrictions, but even then, like, I don't know. It's just the food just wasn't good. I mean, the popcorn was great.
Well, I think the limitations, again, that's more of a comparison of stateside and international. We have a lot of food. We're very snack heavy.
Yes.
And they probably don't have that there because they probably wouldn't have too many people buying. Like, they're not having a bunch of food for people not to buy.
Yeah.
So I think that could be another difference.
Yeah. I didn't notice it because we never went into like a quick service place or anything, but my friend was saying that all of the quick service locations have microwaves. So you could bring your own food in and just heat up your food there.
Well, and you could bring your food.
You can bring your food in, but you can't bring
Disney
up
World,
anything that
but yeah,
you can't
up.
microwave anything. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting too, is maybe they just expect people to bring their own food. I don't know. But it was strange. Like, I mean, the other thing too is it stayed light, so dark, so late. The fireworks there were scheduled at 11 p.m. because it was not dark until then. But it was still light out when they started the drone show at 11 p.m. It was wild.
When we were watching that documentary, when they were having those night shots, you were like, that has to be like 2 o'clock in the morning because...
Either that or it was like in the winter when it's like always dark because it literally like... It finally got full dark during the fireworks show, and the fireworks went from like 11 to 11:30.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? It was so weird to me. And so we were looking for food, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, and so everything was closed. But it was like, but it's
still
like the sun is where it should be for me to be eating dinner right now. So yeah, we had bad luck. See. Can you score Disneyland, Disney World, and Disneyland Paris at 1 out of 10 in your overall opinion, just for laughs? Ugh. I don't know. That's hard. Disney World, I absolutely love. I would have to say, I mean, if you're doing like the entire property, like Disney World being all 4 parks and like everything it encompasses, I think Disney World is great. I do think it has its limitations. It's hard to do like an overall score. Because, like, transportation, not so great. Like, timing to get to the parks and do things and, like, being able to just kind of, like, bust in and go ride rides, like, is a lot of planning for Disney World.
There's different ways to look at it because going to Disneyland, it was really cool to be able to just, like, what do I feel like going to? DCA? Disneyland?
Yeah.
And just walk across.
Yeah.
That was super cool. And
once the park hopping was open, right? Yeah. Disney World is making it more and more difficult to really enjoy it unless you really know how to do it and you're okay with those limitations. I love Disney World for the different parks that it has and the different rides that it has and all the food. I do love food.
It feels just spacious. Like everything that's at, all these other parks, they're there, but just like further away. Like, oh, that's in Epcot. Oh, that's in Animal Kingdom. So
I also feel like I won't rate them by numbers because I won't do it. I refuse. But Disney World feels like a vacation destination. It feels like you can go on vacation, go in the bubble, never leave the bubble until you go back to the airport, and that's okay. with Disneyland, you could do that too, but because there's no Disneyland bubble, right? It's in the middle of Anaheim. Yeah. You can go do other things. And so it feels more like, it doesn't feel like your entire vacation. It feels like you could go do other things with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Disneyland Paris also had the same vibe of like, it's a big property. You could just go do it. There's not enough to do like there is at Disney World, but it felt more like a destination.
So Paris is kind of like a baby of
like the in-between. Yeah, it'd be like World, Paris, Land in terms of like vacation destination. But in terms of like the rides and everything to do, Disney World wins because there's just so many attractions at Disney World. But then Disneyland had way more and better rides, honestly, than Disneyland Paris. And smoother rides. I mean, if we're talking about like this, how smooth the rides were, Disneyland wins.
What about Matterhorn?
You lean forward.
No.
That was my favorite ride. Like truly.
Yeah, it was fun. That was fun.
That one was my favorite ride, even over the Mission Breakout, Tower of Terror. That was fun.
I like that one. I liked the rides over at Disneyland.
Hyperspace Mountain was really good. And Credit Coaster was fun too. Mm-hmm. It just made me sick.
That one.
The Death Wheel. I loved the Death Wheel. I actually really liked it. Like, it was a lot of fun.
That one was fun. Yeah, like I said, I think that's the crazy thing is there was so many rides that it just all felt different. It really did. Like Haunted Mansion, like it was the same Haunted Mansion, but it felt different.
It felt so bright and so clean and so smooth.
Yeah.
And it didn't break down. We broke down on the Phantom Manor in Disneyland Paris. But it was right in front of the 4 singing busts. So I was able to get like a really great video, just like a still, like straight in front of it. It was wonderful.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to rank them. It really just depends on like what you're going for. But I really loved Disneyland. I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time to spend in the parks.
I think Disneyland, if we go, like, I mean, we're going to go again, but doing a day just for Disneyland, one day just for DCA.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Let me see. Between Disneyland California and Disneyland Paris, is the park spaced out about the same? I would say Paris felt more spacious. The hub feels really spacious. Because it's fully open. Like, it's even at like Magic Kingdom, there's just there's trees for some reason in the middle of the hub. It's like, why do you want to block the view of the castle? I felt like Disneyland was very short. Like, it's cozy.
Yeah.
I hate to say that word, but it really was cozy. Like, everything is just closer together.
Yeah.
Disneyland Paris felt to me like it was size-wise probably between Disneyland and Magic Kingdom, but probably closer to Magic Kingdom is what I would put it at. I think that's it for the most part. Oh, somebody did ask, I forget. Oh, we did day 2 portraits. Yeah. I was asking if they'll miss any story opportunities since portrait experience starts at 4 on day 2 for Star Cruiser. No, you'll be fine. The story starts picking back up around 4, but you'll be fine. It's only 30 minutes. So you're good. I know, cozy. It is. He was right though when he called it cozy. It's very cozy. Yeah. We're not doing. Our next episode's not about Disneyland. We will do an episode about our Disneyland experience. Yeah. It just keeps getting kind of pushed back.
Well, I mean, there's always like new stuff dropping. So
I know.
Because today we didn't even talk about it, but I guess we'll talk about it next time.
What's that?
The Wish.
Oh yeah, The Wish. Yeah. So hopefully that's the plan. Is the next episode is about The Wish. Yeah. If not, then it's going to be about Disneyland. And then after that, I think we're back on Star Cruiser. Yeah. So that's what I want. And if anybody here has any questions or ideas, we're trying to formulate what exactly we should cover for this trip. I think it's going to be different because we're going as just our family of 4 versus like our family of 4 in a larger group. So we're going to be able to experience it in a different way.
Yeah.
Where we're not constantly meeting up with people that we know or like going on side missions with them. Like this is really going to be like, we're not going to be able to rely on a larger network of people that's like, hey, let me pull you over here to do this with me. It's going to be more up to us to explore.
And we're going to try to, because I want to go that Jedi path, try to like manipulate that.
I think that's going to be another one is like how, we're not a how-to channel, but like, is it possible to really pick the path that you go on?
Yeah.
Because we didn't even like the path that we were on was not the one that we set out.
No,
just
not
like,
at all.
We just showed up.
Because like we had an idea like of the path, like, oh, maybe we'll go this. And I think we just got caught up in the like, oh, wow, look at everything. And just, you know.
Wraith was like, come with me.
Yeah.
We're like, okay. But he was so good.
Yeah, so.
He was so good. That's going to be the problem is like, what if we're like, we're going to be Jedis this time. And then we just get absolutely entranced by like Lieutenant Croy. We're like, okay, we'll be baddies with our Jedi garb. I don't know. We'll just have to go back.
Yeah.
Again and again. We're definitely going to split a room next time though, because it's going to be fun though. Talking about fuzzy tauntauns. I haven't had a fuzzy tauntaun in a long time.
But they changed it, didn't they?
Did they?
Oh, I thought they did.
Jordan asked if we're doing the photo package again. Yes, we are. Which is why I feel like we need to have new costumes.
Yeah.
I think that's why there's pressure for us to have new costumes.
Especially for that day.
Self-inflicted pressure is, one, we want to try to manipulate what path we go on, and then 2, we're going to be taking pictures again. So
I think, I don't know, I just want more. I guess I had a photographer and maybe I would
me too
do dress up more often. But
like in real life, like going to the store,
yeah,
like Target.
Well, I mean, like going to Celebration and seeing like these really cool pictures of us, like I think that's one of those undervalued like photography. Like when you actually have a cool picture taken of you, you're kind of like, oh man, like that's super cool.
Oh yeah, I'm milking the pictures that we got from like our first Star Cruiser voyage. Like I'm hoping we get good pictures out of this one. So I'm gonna be like,
I haven't seen any.
That's my profile picture for the next 3 years.
Everybody that has gotten, you know, like on Instagram that they've taken those pictures.
They're all great pictures.
They're all great pictures.
Which begs the question, why are some of the PhotoPass pictures? I mean, I guess it's outside, but like they just like went to a whole new level for this one. Yeah. And it's like, y'all got to roll that out like other places as well, because it's so good.
Well, I think the reason why is because other places don't have like the whole dress up stuff. Like you in costume, you really going out loud. Because imagine if you're just wearing a Mickey shirt and some cargo shorts.
I know.
You're kind of like, I'm not going to waste.
That's what I fear on this one. We haven't even like really planned out our Batu outfits. And I think I'm probably going to phone it in for my Batu outfit for the most part.
Because it's going to be hot.
It's going to be so hot. So I'm probably just going to wear like the Sara Special now, which is a crop top and high-waisted pant. And then some kind of like a utility belt and just be done. Because it's going to be too hot.
It's survival mode when we go to Batu.
I would do like linen pants maybe. Because it's going to be swampy. And then I scheduled our pictures like in mid-afternoon. So I did not do Ogas this time. I feel like that was a little bit to our detriment last time. And also going with a larger group.
Yeah.
Because we all had Ogas at the same time. But because we were a group of 12, trying to get all 12 of us in at the same time took a while. And we had a stroller. And our daughter was sleeping. So they were just like, we're going to wait till we can get you a table. And we waited longer than
we should have.
Than we wanted to. I mean, it wasn't a long wait, but it was probably like a 15, 20-minute wait. But between that and then sitting down at Oga's, we only did one drink because we were like, we gotta go. But then we had to do rider swap for both of the rides. Rise of the Resistance was down. So just it felt like a supermarket sweep. It felt like Amazing Race trying to run around Batu and get everything done. And so I'm hoping this time, because we didn't book an Oga's, we'll feel like we can breathe a little bit more and like maybe stick. That's the thing though, is like we're probably going to have different stories. And so we're going to have to be running around too for that. So at least if we don't have Oga's, it'll give us more time to do it.
Yeah. I do want to like try something else at Docking Bay too.
Or are you going to get some food there too?
Yeah.
Might as well, right? What I got was really good, but I still want to go eat lunch on the ship. Okay. I miss that. So, see, unlike Disneyland Paris, we can have two lunches.
It's a lot of food options.
I had no lunch at Disneyland Paris. I'm going to have 2 lunches. But I think, we're almost at 2 hours now.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to hit the hay.
So, thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yes.
And coming and hanging out.
And putting up with
the craziness.
Yeah, we're working through it.
Back to here.
Oh, we're here now?
Yeah.
Now you can see all of our things.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. It's fun. I'm hoping we can do more of these live streams. Obviously, we didn't do the last one because I was on my way to Disneyland Paris, actually. Yeah. Funny enough. But we'll get better at these.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like just hanging out and chatting.
Hanging out with you too. Eventually, we'll have the setup a little better done. Not that you guys can tell, but it's still a little. We got some work to do.
Yeah.
But thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.